Alright everyone, it's time for another, well, we'll just call this a Q&A and be done with it. At least that's what the title says, so I'm just gonna roll with it, because it's 5 a.m. now, and I have work at 1 p.m. today, so let's just get on with this. Anywho, alright, and some of you, even though the recording, now that I recorded it, yeah, words, English, I need to write a script. Anyway, but yes. Basically, as you can see from this image, that's clearly hiding the fact that, yes, I'm still building this in survival like a madman, of which a lot of you guys seem to be relatively amused by. Thank you, my suffering is amusing you. Anywho, but as you can see, this is a rough blueprint of what I am going to be doing with the station. As you can see, the outer ring is well, you can't tell the number, but it is 401 large ship blocks, and so if you have any idea of what that translates to, not to sound like an ass, even though thinking about it out loud, yeah, I'm an asshole. Anyhow, but that equates to this station being 1,002.5 meters in diameter. Now, the ring after that is only 877, roughly. Well, actually, that's the meters. Oh, hold on. Let me open another. There it is. The middle ring that you can see, and this is subject to change. I might increase its size, either that or it's not proportionally shown accurately, but it gives you a rough idea, where the middle ring is going to be 351 large ship blocks in diameter, which equates to, as I mistakenly said earlier, 877.5 meters. Now, what you guys, I don't think, are fully understanding, just based on looking at the comments, is this is the canon Death Star, not the Legends. In Legends, legend has it that the Death Star had millions of layers, or levels. Basically, if you were to look at a building, millions of levels, or stories, whatever you want to call them, basically fully habitated with artificial gravity in all of them. In the canon version, the only places where people actually are is the outer crust, which is, I think, 1 to 3 kilometers is the general consensus based on current canon sources, with the rest being, yes, there's a bunch of levels, however, it's mostly empty, void of life, except for the occasional engineer that needs to go to, say, the hypermatter reactor in order to maintain the station, which this makes much more sense than Legends, because only 1.1 million people actually work on the station, so it makes more sense having it in the canon version, where most of the station has, well, practically nothing. So basically what I'm getting at is the middle part of this station is going to be mostly empty, as in, I'm just going to leave it void. Basically, to save on performance of the station, I'm not touching that. I'm only doing the center, which is going to be the reactor at 41 large ship block in diameter, which is 102.5 meters, because what is common in canon and Legends is that the station, basically, the hypermatter reactor in the center is 10% of the ship's overall diameter. So for my purposes, because I'm going for 100 kilometer, or not a, good God, English, I need a script. Basically, because I'm going for 1 kilometer, the reactor room needs to be 100 meters. But again, Space Engineer limits, I'm adding an extra large ship block just so that way I have a, large reactor in the dead center just to make it a little bit more immersive. But that's just me and my OCD. Yeah, let's never speak of it again. Anyway, so that's basically my thoughts. Now that I say that out loud, I think I should probably build the reactor room first. Just so that way it's, well, then again. Another thing that you guys have been wondering has been why my inventory doesn't seem to be going down, even though I might place a couple thousand blocks. That's because I'm using a times 100 inventory mod for the person. So I can store over 100,000 steel plates and still be able to basically keep welding placing in this case. The azimuth containers that I'm using are on times 10 inventory, so I can store 650,000 of them. So it's going to take a while. I think I'm down to 550, but I'm setting, even though I do work full time, basically what I'm going to be doing is setting weekly production goals just to get this thing out the door. But again, I'm not skipping on quality. I'm not going to leave things unwelded. Basically, I'm going to say, what's the word? For the hull, I'm thinking one cargo, or one full load per week, which means I should be able to, well, I'm not going to do the math, I'm just going to do this. But that brings up another point that I wanted to bring, and one of you asked, and sorry, but I am really tired now. It is 5:30 as I record this. I want to go to bed. I need to get up and go to work by 1, so that means I'm getting up at noon. But yay, retail. But one of you asked, why am I building this out of light armor blocks and not heavy? And bottom line, episode 1, just the framing that you saw, those basically 4 circular bands, that weighed on its own 3 million kilograms. If I was to build this out of heavy blocks, it would be 18 million kilograms, just that part, because one light armor block is 500 kilograms. One large heavy armor is, 3,000 kilograms. In other words, for those, mainly Americans, like me, yes, I'm an American, but I still use metric. Get over it. I use them both. But basically put, the light armor block is 1,100 pounds versus the heavy armor block, as it's basically 6,600 kilograms. So, pounds. Jesus, English. I am tired. So, basically, yes, that's why I'm not doing this, because in all honesty, just the framing that you saw get built in episode 1 was over 6.6 million pounds versus the nearly 40 million pounds it would have been if I made this out of heavy armor. Resources are not an issue when I play Space Engineers, because you guys have seen my Mega Miner. I can mine. Oh boy, can I mine. But for practical reasons, moving this thing is going to be a bitch as it is, if it can even move at all. We'll see. Let's not think about that yet. Can I just build the shell and then think about moving it? And we'll see. But for now, I just want to focus on the reactor room and the outer hull. If worst case scenario, I build the overbridge, I attempt to build the super laser, which I do plan. I don't know how, but again, let me figure it out. Don't worry your pretty little heads off. Anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long. I don't even know if I have enough footage to cover this on times 10. But it is what it is. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Toodles. So, let's start with the first one. Anyway, so Aladdin, I probably butchered the name, but your voice sounded like you were trying to channel Mark Hamill. Well, let's just say the Joker is, my favorite. Now, I am tired right now, so I can't fully try to emulate it, but I will try. And so it reminds me of Batman Arkham Arkham City, where the Joker starts going, "Take my blood, for example. I wish somebody would. This stuff is killing me." Why should I care? Because now there's a teeny little bit, so I think you guys get the gist. So yes, I am trying. I doubt I will ever be as good as Mark, though. Anyway, not pertaining to the Death Star, but, well, I tend to go a little insane. Anyway, English. Moving along swiftly. Next up, you should try to use English. I can't read. You should use the nanobot mod to help you. As I replied, unfortunately I tried, but even having the mod installed in the game world was game breaking. And so I couldn't even place it. It was that bad. And when I removed the mod again, because you reminded me that I actually was subscribed to it, but again, it just was not working. So I cannot use the nanobot mod. However, as I'm sure you guys will notice, my welding speed, even on times 10, seems insane. That's because I'm using the tiered ships tools. Yeah, tiered. I don't know what it's properly called, but basically I have a 16 times welding speed as is, but because I'm on 5 times welding speed, it's like, what, 70 times welding speed? So just point and click and boop.
wrong with me?
Reinforcements on route.
Actually, don't answer that. I'll just say
Ready for action.
Upgrade in progress.
You've let unidentified to investigate.
My finger slipped!
Reinforcements on
No! What the fuck? This is my own planet!